So welcome, Lisa Klefbom from Swedish Cancer Society, and it's a delight to hear more about what is happening in your country. But tell me about the Swedish Cancer Society.
So the Swedish Cancer Society is a non-governmental independent organization, and we are one of the biggest funders in Sweden for cancer research. We are also doing advocacy work and knowledge sharing without that, and fundraising for cancer research.
Thank you. And what is happening in Sweden in terms of tobacco and nicotine policy?
Well, in Sweden at the moment we are happy that we can see that the smoking rates has gone down for many years. So at the moment we have a daily smoking rate at 5%. But if we look at the current use in Sweden, like both sporadically use and daily use, we have a current use on 11%. We can also see that in the latest years that the trend has shifted, so the smoking trend has gone down, but now it's actually going up just a little bit. But we can especially see it among high school students that the smoking rates are going up. And the reason for this is of course not, we can be sure, but what we can see in Sweden is that we have a high nicotine use. So the total tobacco and nicotine use has gone up in recent years. And we can see that the new product that comes from the tobacco industry called nicotine pouches, or sometimes in Sweden we call it nicotine snus, it has risen a lot among the youngest. So today we see children using nicotine pouches in schools, and it's going up for every year.
Mm-hmm. And they're using e-cigarettes or vapes as well?
Yeah, they are. It's also very popular. But I would say though that the nicotine pouches are more popular.
That's interesting because we hear from the tobacco industry that the reduction in smoking rates in Sweden is because of products like these. Yeah. But is that your view?
No, that's not my view. The reason behind Sweden's low smoking rates is definitely the tobacco control measures. We have been working with tobacco control measures for several years. We started already in the 60s. And since the 90s, we have implemented decisive policy measures. For example, we were one of the first countries in Europe to introduce a smoking ban on restaurants, cafes, and bars. And I think that one has been very important to shift the norm in Sweden and the social acceptance of smoking cigarettes. It's especially if you look at the Swedish women that they never picked up using snus. They haven't been using it. But they still stopped smoking due to the tobacco policy measures.
Mm. Mm. And your smoke-free policy also includes aerosol-producing recreational nicotine devices like e-cigarettes and heated products?
Yes, it does, in most places.
Yeah. Mm. Yeah. So what are the challenges of working in this field in Sweden?
I think the challenges in Sweden at the moment is definitely that we have quite a low political will to continue with tobacco control measures. And I believe that the politicians doesn't see the problem we have today with nicotine pouches and how that will affect in the long run. And that we already now can see that the smoking behavior has shifted again, and we don't know how that will affect in the long term. So at the same time, I think a challenge is that the political will is low because we have a low daily smoking rate, that is right, but we're still not done. We still have huge differences in groups in smoking. So,
and what would you say is happening with, say, teenagers and young adults in terms of both smoking and overall nicotine use?
What we can see is that they are using nicotine pouches far more than they did before. And at the same time, we have different legislation on different products. So nicotine pouches, for example, they are allowed to market to people over the age of 25, but cigarettes are not allowed to market at all. And I mean, how do you know that you're not marketing a product to the under an age? So we can see that they still get a lot of marketing in different ways. And this has definitely created a norm that the norm is that you are supposed to use nicotine pouches.
Yes, it's just become common.
Yeah, it's become very common, and it's often used in schools. And a lot of young people says that they are starting using these products because they think they are less harmful, and also because their friends are using it. And they are also very easy to get access to. At the same time, they are also very cheap. They are very affordable. So sometimes we say it costs almost like an ice cream. And I mean, that's a big problem. We need to have a better taxation on those products in Sweden.
It costs the same as an ice cream, and it's probably marketed with the same flavours.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Similarities are many.
So tell me, are you enjoying the World Conference on Tobacco Control? What are you getting out of being here?
Well, it's been great. I think the network is very, very important. We are here also to talk about the situation in Sweden, and always think it's so interesting when we hear countries from different parts of the world that knows about the Swedish situation. So far I think it's been great, and also very important reminder to hear about the tobacco industry tactics, what they are doing, that they have been doing it for many years, and we definitely see that in Sweden. We see the tobacco tactics around the growing market of new products.
Yes. Is there any encouragement or advice you'd like to give us at Ash Scotland, or in Scotland, or in the UK?
Well, I think the best way is, I think, just a reminder to always keep the tobacco policy measures in center, and to do it as we did in Sweden with the cigarettes, where the policy measures made our smoking rates go down. At the same time, we didn't regulate the new products, and now we have a large use among the youngest. So always have the FCTC as a base for all tobacco products.
Good advice. Lisa, thank you for your time and
you.
for speaking with us today.
Yeah.